Carson recently released his newest album under Playboi Carti's Opium label, A Great Chaos. It sold 49K first week, which is super impressive for Ken Carson. But what I found even more impressive was that it sold 23K second week. And I'll get to that 23K number a little bit later in this video and why I think it's so impressive. However, with Ken selling 49K first week with A Great Chaos, we have to pose the question, has Ken Carson now entered the mainstream of hip hop and rap and entered that next level? There's a few things to look at here as far as to break this down if he really has. Now, it's really up to you in your own opinion. However, I want to just cover a few things and maybe let you ponder that yourself. The first thing I want to mention is that the music and album itself is very good. Dare I say, a great album. This project sees Ken take his signature sound of rage, but he tends to push the sound a bit forward. What I mean by this is if you listen to Project X and then go to X and then now A Great Chaos, you can clearly see Ken has progressed his sound almost to a perfect point. I thought this album was a perfect combination of all of his past works put together. So he perfected his sound, and most importantly to me personally, this album did not overstay its welcome at all. If you have listened to some of my past videos, I've always asked why are these artists dropping 20 plus song albums when the artist themselves knows a handful of those tracks are filler or just useless to the project. I'm so sick of people making projects that are overly long for no reason at all. I love straight to the point albums just like this one. Ken, you did a great job just putting, I think it was 17 tracks. Thank you very much. I mean, we even saw this with another Opium member in Destroy Lonely with If Looks Could Kill. Decent album, however, 30 songs with a deluxe is insane, Loone. I don't know why you thought that was a good idea, but hey, I mean, you're the artist, not me, but man, 30 songs, bro? Come on. And they all sort of sound the same, whatever. Hey, it is what it is. But back to A Great Chaos. So far, Ken has checked off 2 boxes, for me being that he's progressed his sound with the first one, and not that I'm like listening to albums with a checklist, I'm just saying these are the things I wrote down and noted. And I wanted to mention that because a lot of people criticize Ken for not progressing his sound with X, and I think that criticism was somewhat fair, but I do think X gets a bit overhated. It still has some bangers on there for sure. The other box that Ken checked for me for this album was that he didn't really overstay its welcome or have any filler tracks really. The next box I was hoping Ken would check off for me was that he would make a track that we would see Ken explode in popularity. Now, I'm not sure there's a song on A Great Chaos that has the catchy sound to it, and by catchy I mean that catchiness that's gonna bring you like tons of streams. Not that Ken doesn't already get tens of millions of streams for his songs, but I'm meaning like that 500 million stream song, that 1 billion stream song. We'll see if he can get there, but I don't know. I also don't know if any of the tracks have the ability to gain popularity on TikTok. The only track I personally see having that type of success could be Rockstar Lifestyle, but really only time will tell. So Ken Carson checked enough boxes for me to confidently say this album's really good. I would even maybe say it's great. Now, I want to talk about that 23K second week. I mentioned it earlier. Now, I'm not trying to put Opium artists against each other, but I saw a ton of Loone fans before If Looks Could Kill saying Loone is passing Ken with this project. Also saying things like Loone keeps Ken relevant. Now, I don't have any of these tweets or posts or anything, but I just remember seeing them and being like, wow, that's kind of crazy to say, but we're going to see. And then because of that, I want to bring up how much Loone sold first week. If Looks Could Kill sold 29K first week. Ken Carson sold 6,000 less than that in his second week. So the conversation about Destroy Lonely being bigger or better than Ken Carson right now is just straight up ridiculous and wrong. Yes, Loone could get there with another good project like No Stylist, but right now he's just not there. Still good in his own lane, and I like some of the songs off Looks Could Kill. There are some good songs on there. However, he needed to differentiate a little bit throughout the track list. But this is about A Great Chaos. I keep getting off track. However, if we look at Ken Carson now, we need to have the conversation that he's entered into the mainstream of music and entered into that next level. Especially if we're considering Yeat mainstream now after he sold 54K with Afterlife, which is only 5K more than what Ken just sold. It's crazy to think, but this new generation of guys in hip-hop are here, and it looks like Yeat and Ken are leading the charge. I'm just really impressed with Ken Carson on this project. Just looking at the track list, some of my favorite tracks are Fighting Demons, Singapore, Me and My Cup, It's Over, Succubus, Paranoid, Nightcore, and Rockstar Lifestyle. And all of those tracks I'd say check out. If you aren't an albums person, you just like certain songs, or you want to check out individual ones, definitely check out those. For sure check out Succubus. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that song, for some reason, it is so catchy to me. The beat is so infectious. I love that song. It is so good. Rockstar Lifestyle, very catchy. I love the beginning, how the beat drop is very fun. And all those other songs are really good. Singapore and Paranoid with Destroy Lonely in them, very good. And the Uzi song, I do want to touch on this real quick. The Uzi song, I thought was okay, but honestly, I would have loved to hear Uzi on a rage beat, like he did with Suicide Doors on Pink Tape. I don't exactly know why he didn't do that, why Ken Carson didn't have him do a rage-esque beat, but that's what they decided to go with, and it's a good song, don't get me wrong, it's good, but I wish they would have done a different route with that. I would also say just give this album a listen in its entirety. If you're not normally an albums listener, just do it once. It's not very long. It is very well put together, and the flows super nicely. Like, the album just has a good flow. It does not, when I say it doesn't overstay its welcome, it doesn't. It is just the perfect right amount of time. It's a really good put together album. Ken really put this one together well. The last thing I want to mention that was really also impressive to me was that this album, with Ken specifically, this album leaked 6 days before it dropped. Now, I know a lot of mainstream audiences aren't really tapped into the leaks or really pay attention at all, but I still think it's important to mention, because if this album was leaked and a narrative began that it was boring or mid or whatever, and people will just straight up not even listen then, and that's, it's crazy, but they will. So again, shout out Ken Carson for delivering a really good album. And I'll say it's one of the best albums this year in hip-hop. So again, I asked the question, is Ken Carson now entering that next level into the mainstream? Let me know what you think of A Great Chaos, and let me know what your favorite tracks were. Let me know what you thought of this take, and thanks for watching.